Here we go. Thank you. Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day, a little bit early. Okay. I would pass out chocolates, but I forgot them at home, so I'm sorry. It is, you'll wait, right? It's 7:30 p.m. It's February 13th. Ms. Sarcisi, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Durrow?
Here.
Mr. Engel?
Here.
Ms. Hannikin?
Here.
Mr. Molnar?
Here.
Ms. Tully? Here.
I would now like to ask our Council President, Dave Engel, to lead us in the Pledge of the Allegiance, after which Councilwoman Jan Tully will say our invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What really counts is not the number of hours you put in, but how much you put in the hours. Let us remember to use our hours tonight wisely and in focus for our residents. Thank you.
All right, very good. Now, let me get out my agenda. We have some minutes. We have minutes of December 12th and 19th. Let me do them one at a time. December 12th, 2013. Are there any changes, or do I have a motion to accept?
So made.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I need to abstain from the December 12th since I wasn't there.
I need to abstain.
I'll be abstaining from both.
Next is the December 19th meeting, 2013. Do I have a motion to accept?
So made. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
All right. Moving on to, we have a financial report. We have,
January 9th and 23rd.
oh, I'm sorry, January 9th, we have minutes too. I'm sorry about that.
Excuse me, Ms. Hannikin, you'll be abstaining from December 19th as well.
Yes, correct.
So I didn't hear that.
All straight?
We're good.
January 9th, do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the minutes of January 9th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? All right, January 23rd, 2014. Do I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept the minutes for the meeting of January 23rd, 2014.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, we'll move on to our financial report. We need to acknowledge receipt. Do I have a motion doing that?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the financial report dated December 31, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on, the next section of our meeting is comments by the public. If you would like to comment, we ask you to sign in, and please keep your presentation to 5 minutes. And this evening, we have no one signed in. So we'll move right into pending and/or new legislation, starting with ordinance number 12, 2014.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to offer ordinance 2014 for its second and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And what's your pleasure?
Wait, just gotta
I'm
read it.
sorry, you got to
An
read.
ordinance, I needed the glasses.
Okay.
An ordinance approving the purchase, installation, and training package regarding fingerprint time clocks for use by certain employees from the Cleveland Time Clock and Service Company and repealing Section 1 of Ordinance 9, 2013.
And what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass and post ordinance 12, 2014 according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Durrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannikin?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Did you skip him, Mr. Molnar?
I'm sorry, Mr. Molnar,
No.
Ms. Tully.
Sorry. I was approached by a city resident, Ms. Hannah, last meeting, stating that the employees who would be affected were all for this ordinance and that I need to do some investigation. I talked to numerous employees who'd be impacted. There wasn't a one of them that were in favor of this. There are only 27 employees impacted, no part-time. I haven't seen any abuse. I also have some concern of spending money and changing legislation that specifically asks for things such as going out for bids, and that wasn't done. I vote no.
Ordinance number 12, 2014 passes. Resolution number 14-2014. Rita?
Oh, that's me. Okay. I offer resolution number 14, 2014 for its second and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution confirming the conditional use zoning certificate approval issued by the Planning Commission regarding Longwood Manor at 1634 East Aurora Road.
Okay, just for a little quick explanation of what this is it's confirming what the Longwood Manor use will be. Part of the agreement made with the Longwood Manor Historical Society and Council was that within the time allocated, they would determine the use. So this is putting what use it will be for. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass resolution number 14, 2014, according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar,
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Resolution 14-2014 passes. Ordinance number 17-2014.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 17, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment of Jessica Becker to the position of full-time dispatcher.
And what's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 17, 2014, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar,
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Ordinance number 17-2014 passes. John, would you like to say a word about Rebecca
Just-
first?
Jessica?
Jessica, she's done a nice
Jessica.
job for us. She's filled in and it's her year's probation.
Yes, had a very difficult job. All right. Resolution number 18-2014.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer resolution number 18, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution appointing Bob Hopkins to the Planning Commission in order to fill a recent vacancy.
That's not it.
Oh, I am so sorry.
That's okay.
My apologies. I'm sorry.
Back up one.
Yes, I just need to back up. Doot, 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 like the trucks do. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Jerry Egan in order to provide for city planning services.
All right, and what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass and post resolution number 18, 2014.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes, and I'd just like to comment, this is budget neutral. This is just for work that may be needed that our current planner may not be able to be available for.
Mr. Molnar,
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Resolution number 18-2014 passes. Jerry is so qualified, it's unbelievable. And it's wonderful to have a man of his caliber and experience working for us because planning commission, a very important function in this city. And we're proud to have you, Jerry. He's here tonight. All right, moving on to resolution number 19, 2014.
I'd like to offer Resolution 19, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution appointing Bob Hopkins to the Planning Commission in order to fill a recent vacancy.
And what's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law Resolution 19, 2014.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Resolution number 19, 2014 passes. This appointment will be a partial appointment. It's not a full term. The planning commissioner that Bob is replacing met a very unfortunate accident and is no longer able to serve. He did a wonderful job for us for years, and you got some pretty big shoes to fill, Bob. Bob's here today. Bob is president of one of our biggest companies here in Macedonia, Empire Die Casting, which is undergoing a transformation right now that might make it one of the biggest companies in the nation. So good luck to you, Bob. Thank you. All right, moving on with ordinance number 20-2014.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 20, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending section 116705 by adding new section 116705C3, allowing the Planning Commission discretion to approve additional conditionally permitted uses in the B4 Highway Business District.
And what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pass and post according to law ordinance number 20, 2014.
Second.
Roll call.
Before we vote, could you explain?
Sure.
Because
Absolutely.
There's a whole audience at home and on the way.
Yeah. B4. B4 means business for. Business for is only in one area of our city. And because it was such a specialized area, it was designated only for highway use. So you would have businesses there, for instance, that are restaurants, gas station, motels, anything that would be used for highway use. We have some people that are property owners there that are unable to get anything into their building because of that designation. In an effort to give every business a chance to succeed in the city of Macedonia, we are passing this ordinance where in the future, Planning Commission will be making decisions and will be able to make decisions that would allow that business to exist and hopefully perform well, whereas otherwise we'd have an empty building. I guess that was an explanation.
That works. Very good.
Long. All right, what's your pleasure?
For the vote.
We do have it, we just need the
Oh.
vote. so-
We need to vote.
Yeah, that's all we need now. Ready? Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
All right, so look for any kind of a business there in the future, still kind of related to highway. Moving on to ordinance number 21-2014.
I'd like to offer ordinance 21, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter a contract with the American Fireworks Company for the Spirit of Macedonia Community Festival.
And Nick, would you like to say a few words about this, please?
Yes. Long time coming. everyone knows I'm a strong advocate of bringing back what used to be called the Fun Fest and is now the Spirit of Macedonia Community Festival. This is the contract to approve the fireworks for that festival.
And the money's already allocated.
It's already allocated, we're not asking for any more or less, it's just approving the contract that the law department approved, and Angela's done a lot of hard work to get to this point, so, thank you.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 21, 2014.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
And Ms. Tully?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 21, 2014 passes. Next is ordinance 22, 2014.
I'd like to offer ordinance 22, 2014 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Premium Shows of America in order to provide rides and concessions at the city's Spirit of Macedonia Community Festival.
And what's your pleasure?
Mayor, before I go into the ordinance, and Angela, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot here, but the question came up of how many rides and concessions we would have. Is there a determined number at this point?
It was included in the contract, which I do not have a copy of in front of me, but I know it was 18 to 20 large rides, I think 6 to 10 small rides, games of chance, and then food concessions as well.
And the question also came up about the time and effort and the company that you determined was their best choice. Can you speak to them a little bit about why we chose them?
We chose them. They are familiar with this area. They have been part of our past festivals, even though they operate under different names. So they are a company that worked in Macedonia in previous events. They are based locally, and out of all of the companies that we solicited, we only heard back from a select few, and actually, it came down to date availability as well. That was a big factor.
And reputable.
Absolutely.
Great, sounds like it's going to be wonderful. What's your pleasure?
Move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 22, 2014.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Ms. Hannigan?
Yes.
Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Ordinance number 22, 2014 passes. Are there any other motions or legislative actions this evening?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to rescind ordinance number 5, 2013, relative to additional annual recreation center fee of $50 for non-residents, and that's taking effect 2/14/2014.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There will be legislation confirming this. Are there any other motions, legislative actions? Hearing none, we'll move right on to correspondence to the clerk.
I have none, sir.
Moving on, the mayor's report. Somehow, some way, something that seems fair and equitable seems to have started a ruckus. And not to add fuel to the fire, let me just say, as the mayor of Macedonia, I was approached with a monetary amount of about $60,000 for our city out of $1 million due to Northfield for the Roxino. The state came to me. I didn't ask for it. However, after hearing about this chance to get this money, it seems as though this would be a way to offset some of the cost of moving our I-271 freeway ramp. One of the factors that led to the success of that venture being done was the concerns about bus traffic to the Roxino. Perhaps you've noticed that we seem to be getting more bus traffic. Just last Saturday, I was coming back up Macedonia Commons and I saw 2 tour buses parked next to each other waiting for the light to change under the I-271 bridge. Now, Macedonia never did complain or ask the state or even our neighbors for anything. We just aren't like that. For instance, we never asked for toll money for hosting schools and school functions, although we constantly incur costs associated with the school operation related to the safety of the children, not only from our community, but all communities. And we are only too happy to oblige. Now that the subject of the Roxino money has been brought to my attention, I will still pursue the funds. And when I gave testimony in Columbus, I brought forth reasons why we should get those funds. Like, for instance, if you enter the Roxino into a GPS from most of the places in Ohio, it's going to let you off right in Macedonia. You'll go right through it. So the House members of that committee commented to me that it made sense for us to get something. But is it worth losing the relationship we have with our neighbors? Actually, I think a good way to resolve this is that the state should contribute $1,171,000 to this area, and by doing that, all three communities would get subsidized the amounts that seem to be causing problems. I don't like the discord this subject has caused among the communities we've had such good relationships with. Will that be jeopardized? Over the past 10 years, we have only worked to foster those relationships with cooperative efforts. A good example of that was in 2005, when Northfield stood by our side in our attempt to regionalize fire. I look forward to continue to have good relationships with our neighbors. And it's in the hand of our state legislators. Whatever they decide, that's fine with me. On February 3rd, Congressman Dave Joyce announced that he nominated 29 students in the 14th Congressional District to the United States Service Academy. Among those listed and going to the U.S. Naval Academy is Matthew Winkler from Macedonia. Congratulations and good luck, Matthew. We are proud of you. We will be working with Channel 5 on a program they have that's called Keeping You Safe Where You Live. Macedonia has been chosen as one of 5 communities in Summit County to formulate a program. I will be working with Chief Golden, Detective Turley, to follow up and trying to have the program ready by March. This is a chance to showcase our community. To me, that means it's worth the effort. We can do it a couple of different ways. If you have some people on your block where you live that want to get involved, contact my office. If you have people on your street that want to get involved in showing what a safe community we have and what we can do to make it even safer, call my office. If you're a homeowners association and you'd like to be involved, call my office. We are presently working with council to do our 2014 budget, which has to be completed and voted on by the end of March. It is not an easy task. Just a couple of reasons why it's so tough is the city is facing a $1.3 million loss of revenue because we lowered our city income tax. And we have not raised our real estate tax in years. For example, in Macedonia, a $100,000 house pays the city $157.44 a year. The total tax on a $100,000 house is almost $2,000, but we only get that small portion. So these are huge hurdles to overcome in a city that keeps growing by leaps and bounds. And as it grows, it needs more services. That's the financial news on the local level. On the state level, House Bill 5 has passed the House of Representatives by a 56-39 vote and will now move to the Senate. This is not good news. This bill will force the cities to allow the state to dictate some city income tax procedures. City income tax is our main source of revenue. All of the mayors and their associations and the Ohio Municipal League are fighting this bill's passage. as it worked its way through the House. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you have big fingers and it hits the screen. Gone. As it worked its way through the House, we have been able to make a difference. We have been able to get more and more things that are favorable. The end result has to be a bill that will protect our businesses to encourage economic development. Also, it has to preserve our right to home rule and our main source of revenue. So if anybody's going to decide how our taxes should be taken care of, spent, collected, and so forth, it should be done by us because that's our way of keeping you getting the services you deserve. At this time, I need to thank our state senator, Frank LaRose, for helping us and for being our advocate. Thank you very much, Frank, for doing that for us. And if you would like, you can write Senator LaRose, and if you don't know his address, it's on our website, or you can get it through using our app, and let him know that you want your city to be able to maintain its means of funding the services you get. Moving on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As Finance Chair, I'd just like to go into a little more detail on the Finance Committee objectives and our meetings coming up. Happy to say that the Finance Committee and the administration are working closely together. The FY14 budget is under construction as we speak. We had a meeting last night, very productive. We reviewed the budgets for the whole of the city and what the revenues and expenditure profiles are. We've also reviewed the police, fire, service, building, and recreation department budgets and needs. On February 26th, there will be a second Finance Committee meeting where we'll advance some of the decision-making on the departments, and we'll review the budgets of the what I call the support departments, which are departments like the legal department, the council support, the various other personnel departments that we have to support the mainline departments. So that will be taking place. We will have a town hall finance meeting for the residents. It's going to take place on March 6th at 6:30 p.m. So our residents are invited to come and hear about what the budget will look like and what our choices and recommendations are going to be, and get some input from them on what they would like to see. And really, our objective will be here to close up as we have to and pass the FY14 budget by the end of March. And Scott, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, that's good.
All right, we're good here? Then thank you so much.
Sure enough. Any other committee reports
Yes,
tonight?
Mr. Mayor. Macedonia Planning Commission meeting was held February 10th, 2014, and we had a proposed wall sign for American Self-Protection at 7792 Capitol Boulevard, unit number 4. Our next planning meeting will be March 17th, which at this time we do not have an agenda. The applicants do have until February 28th to get those applications into the building department. Thank you.
Very good. Any other committee reports?
Parks and Recreation Committee was to have met last week, and just like everything else that seems to be happening around the country, the weather kind of delayed us, so we'll be rescheduling that meeting. We wanted to assure that all the members could attend. We had folks traveling from downtown and just about everywhere, so keep posted. We haven't set that date yet. We want to make sure it's a date that every representative can attend.
Very good. Any other committee reports? Hearing none, we'll go on to department reports. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Everybody here knows the salt situation that we're having. It's not just us, it's statewide. We're getting salt in sporadic loads. Last week I got 3 trucks, supposed to get 100 ton. I'm sorry, I was supposed to get 100 ton. I only got 3 trucks, and that was 69,000 ton. This week we were supposed to get 200 ton. We got 69 tons. So that just goes to show you how they're going to do it, and they said that's how it'll be. So every week we'll get a little bit. So far, we've been lucky that we haven't had to borrow salt from ODOT or from Twinsburg Township. But we've been using, if you notice, only the mains, secondaries, hills, and curves have been done. That's how it has to be for right now, because we're just not getting the salt the way we should be. ODOT had said that they're trying to get in a conference call, they're gonna try to get 150,000 tons delivered in a few communities, counties, and then where everybody would be able to share it, but we would have to use our trucks and go get it ourselves. I don't see that happening soon, because everybody's in a salt shortage, and even Cargill won't even talk to anybody. In fact, they're only dealing with the people that originally went with them. And unfortunately, we went with the lowest bid, went with ODOT. Morton Salt can't keep up. But what I'm gonna do is hold them to their contract, even if we're getting salt deliveries in summer. We're gonna make them give us all that salt, because at $27 a ton, I don't think you'll never see that again. So no matter how long it takes, we're gonna get all our salt. If I have to stack it outside and cover it, but we're gonna get it. That's what's happening with the salt issue. And now we're still doing coal patching. We had a few good days, so we were able to catch up on that. So we're doing the best we can, and I hope everybody can understand that. The city was reimbursed $8,069 from our reworks grant, and that was able to pay for our recycling dumpsters at the rec center. That paid for our senior recycling curbside pickup. That paid for the mulch grinding and the free mulch that you get. It paid for one employee, a seasonal employee, his wages for the leaf season. And what we have coming up, it also paid for. We're gonna have, we have 70 gift cards that were $10 a piece from Chick-fil-A, Menchie's, and from Dunkin' Donuts. And what it is the, I lost myself, I'm like the mayor, but my fingers aren't as big. I got the
poor
Get
guy.
Caught Green handed program. So if we'll have people out there with these gift cards. If we see you on the street and you have, you're putting out some recyclables, they'll give you a card. If we see you at the rec center, they'll give you a card. There's 70 of them, so just look for us in the spring. You'll get it. And that's about all my report. I just wanted to say one more thing. To everybody that thinks that your trucks aren't out there, this is your GPS just for January. It tells you everything. It tells you the date the truck was there, the time it was there, how fast it's going, and then the location of the street. So if anybody has a question, if our trucks were there or on your side street, you might not think they were there. They were there. This, the top sheet shows just this one truck for the month did close to over 800 miles. We only have 155 lane miles. So if you put all the trucks together, they did over 5,000 miles just this month. So if you ever have questions, we have it here. Amen.
Thank you, Jim.
That's my report.
That can happen because GPS chips are in our trucks. So they can be followed right down to how fast they're going. So it's a good thing for us and a good thing to keep us accountable. Mike?
Thanks, Mayor. Just want to thank council for passing Jerry Egan for our planning services. He comes with a lot of experience, and we're happy to have him. Also for passing the B4, I think that's going to allow for more businesses to come in. Recently, I gave my report to council on 2013, and I just wanted to summarize a couple things. For the residents, we had 28 new businesses, 49 new homes, 2,700 inspections done, and roughly 5,042 engineering and inspection hours. So quite busy. This year, we're gonna probably double that. So that concludes my report.
Good job. All right. Angela?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to announce that we are hosting a cheerleading clinic. It's a 6-week clinic. We have varsity cheerleaders from Nordonia High School who will be leading these classes for girls kindergarten through 5th grade, beginning on February 22nd. These will take place on Saturdays. So we are currently accepting registrations for that, and we sent flyers home, Barnabas, today, and you should be seeing flyers going home through the public schools within the next week. Just a reminder, we are accepting registrations for our spring youth soccer program. We don't want anyone to miss out on that. And this Saturday, we're hosting a fishing clinic at the rec center, which is we're allowed to do that because we received a grant from ODNR that Scott had worked on. So we do still have openings. That's from 1 to 3. It is a free clinic, but you do have to stop in and register. There will be food, and they get some free gear and equipment. I know the mayor will be in attendance. So we do encourage people to come out. We will still be accepting registrations the day of. So please come out on Saturday from 1 to 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Scott?
Can I
Nope.
ask one quick question? Did you do the polar plunge?
I was there. I did not partake in the activities,
And
no.
how many did you get? How many participants?
They had quite a few. I think 30-something. I think they raised over $600. And we did have some young gentlemen in prom dresses and all kinds of attire. So I think this will catch on, and it'll grow among the high school kids and college age kids. So we look for a bigger and better success next year.
Sounds like this is a sanity test here, that we already know we have certifiable group of people here.
Yep.
All right. Scott?
Thank you, Mayor. Elaborating a little bit more on the budget that was presented yesterday, first round of budgets, that we do have a significant shortfall in the general fund that's been forecast as much as $600,000 each year, where $1.3 million in revenue will be cut from this year's budget according to regional income tax. And with the loss of about $150,000 in local government funds from the state and the elimination of the inheritance taxes that we've been receiving, we were averaging probably about $150,000 to $160,000 a year on inheritance taxes over the last 3 to 4 years. Last year was the biggest spike, and it was about $240,000, I believe, we collected. As you know, fortunately, we have been increasing the general fund carryover because we knew the sunset was going to be this year on the income tax. But so we've built up a little bit of reserves. We presently have $3.2 million, but with that spending gap of $600,000, it's going to be erased quickly because that doesn't account for the capital transfers that we normally have done. We've usually roads, new trucks, new equipment, other capital repairs on the city buildings, et cetera. We've been spending the last 3 years $855,000. So it's going to be a skinny next few years unless we want to go into a full fall deficit. We can't avoid the deficit spending on the general fund unless we cut operations. So we want to get back to a reasonable carryover balance, which, it just depends on who's looking at the budget, what's reasonable. This council will decide as far as the spending this year and the next previous years. If there's not going to be an increase in revenue, it's going to be a drastic decrease in capital items spent. There will be, I got the January report from Rita, and I don't expect this to reflect on, we are short in period 1, January, $103,321 from last year. Last year in 2013, we collected $729,819, and this year we collected $626. But I think that was maybe a timing issue, even though it's $103,000 and it's 14% down from the previous years. I looked at past Januaries, and they still averaged over about $550 to $600. So I think it was probably a timing issue so much from last year that we had a big jump in that gain. And of course, last year was a record year for our collections. So we've got some issues that we're going to have to address on this council, affecting a lot of things citywide. And expounding on what you had said, Mayor, with that earlier report, because we had the opportunity for whatever reason last week, we were looking at
what our inside, not what our inside millage is, but what our property taxes is overall in this Nordonia Hills taxing district. And we're at 60.74, and our actual millage is only 4.997, which one mill was just done for the fire department. So you look at our taxing, and you, just as you elaborated on a $100,000 home, we collect $157.44. The schools collect $1,182, 7 times the amount that we collect. And the county, through the various, whether you're supporting the zoo or the MRDD or other child services, they collect 3 times that much, $397. So when people complain about property taxes in the city of Macedonia, they really don't have anything to complain about, in my view. That's all I have.
Thank you. Chip?
Your Honor, no report for the fire department this evening.
Come on.
You know, one of the greatest,
We said 5 minutes.
one of the greatest things about Macedonia firemen is that we lead all the communities surrounding us, and a lot of them in the country, being in the top 1% with our ISO rating. Important part of getting a good ISO rating is training. And in CHIP, we have Chip Davis, we have a person that is thoroughly trained on hook and ladders. And Chip, can you just tell me a little bit about our hook and ladder and our plans? Just a little.
In
Sorry.
the fact that we're trying to replace the ladder truck that's 22 years old.
Yes.
The truck is 22 years old. I'm designed the truck and built the truck. I've purchased almost every fire apparatus we have over there except the antique. I have had something to do with it. I sit on a national board with the International Fire Chiefs that design safety standards for fire apparatus. So I try to apply that to every truck that we buy here. This truck is in need of being replaced soon. The frame is giving out on it due to rust and age. The outside looks beautiful. We wash it and take care of it, but underneath the steel is still rusting, wiring is still corroding, and the truck is going to fail here severely, probably within the next 3 to 4 years. So we need to start looking now at replacing it. We are currently, we sent 2 different proposals off to the federal government for a SAFER grant. One is to buy the truck outright for the city of Macedonia. One is to do it regionally for all of Nordonia Hills. Depending on which version, if either version is picked by the federal government, will determine how much we have to pick up of that cost. Estimates on a new truck would be somewhere in the $1 million range. We paid a little over $560,000 for the truck back in 1991, the current one that we have. We're looking to replace that same style truck in this next version, and we're looking at about $1 million. And we're hoping that our share of picking that up will be somewhere around $80,000 to $100,000, our out-of-pocket costs.
All right, thank you very much, and how lucky we are to have talented people like you. Really, thank you, Chip. All right, John?
I just want to mention we sent numerous Nixle alerts out this past week. If we're going to get snow, if you can, try not to park in the street and let service have the ability to clear the streets without having to go around the cars all the time. We may not put out a snow parking ban as we have in the past, but just give them the opportunity to clear the streets before you park there. And again, if you don't have Nixle, sign up for Nixle. It's free. You can call my office or the mayor's office and learn more about it, or go to nixle.com, nixle.com.
And it does a great job, and that's all your baby, so thank you. Jackie?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to report on a couple of the projects we've got coming up, ODOT projects. State Route 82 Phase 1 resurfacing, which is from the western limits of the city to 271. We've received preliminary scope of work for that and a preliminary estimate. That goes to construction spring of 2015 is where it's scheduled now. State Route 82 Phase 3, which is from about Alexandria Drive to the eastern city limits. That's a widening project. We'll be submitting Stage 3 plans in March for that. The 271 ramp relocation, we have a right-of-way acquisition consultant in place, and that will begin construction this summer. And then as far as 271 widening project, that is scheduled to begin construction June of 2014 and complete construction in October of 2016. That's all I have.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that 271 job is going to be absolutely huge. They're widening it to 6 lanes. That will affect 2 bridges, and the one over Ledge Road is a huge bridge. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but to me, I see that they're gonna have to do a lot of work to get that job done. And the unbelievable time frame they've set, I've never seen a job like that. If you look back at our 82 bridge, it probably took almost 40 years. And we got the word in November that we could change our ramp, I think it was. And we had to have them an answer back by December because they are moving so quick. They're designing 271 as they're building it. So the good news is we're going to have 6 lanes on 82, 6 lanes on 271, but you're going to see orange barrels. So there's a downside. But again, every one of those guys that work on that job will be paying us city income tax. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Jackie. How about you, Tom?
Mayor, I just wanted to welcome back Ms. Tully to the dais, and she's going to certainly bring experience to the council that is always needed, and she has a lot of professionalism, as we know, and her reputation is untouchable. I also look forward to and want to congratulate Sylvia Hannikin for being elected to council, and look forward to working with you in the future both. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to, is there any unfinished business this evening? Any new business this evening?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to thank Mr. Digatano for responding to a disabled, low-income resident who had a problem. He was not able to get out of his driveway in order to sign up for the senior snowplow program. And through Mr. Digatano's efforts in expediting that matter, we managed to complete the activity within one day and clean up his driveway. So we appreciate it.
Good job, Jim. Any other new business?
Just real quick, the Northeast Ohio, NOPEC, first everybody will go, what the heck is NOPEC? Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, in your March and April bill, you will be getting an opt-out card. Those of you who remember, this is the council that looks out for both electricity and natural gas to be an aggregator so that they go out and, on behalf of multiple communities, negotiate rates for natural gas and for electricity. So within your natural gas bill, you will be getting an opt-out card. For more information, we have a brochure that's been offered to us. I'll ask if we can put that on the web so that you can take a look at it. It's got a questionnaire, question and answers that can help you understand what their program's all about. You saw one in the summer that dealt with electricity. They're on a different rotating schedule of when they actually opt out. I'm also very excited of the fact that there's a change in supplier to Next Era Energy Services of Ohio. They're the largest Buy Ohio natural gas program. Very worth your while to take a look at this program and see if it can assist you. It's not only to get you a better rate, it's also takes a look at are we meeting federal guidelines and to be your advocate with the energy within the federal and with the PUCO. So if you have questions on it, we'll make sure that we get this brochure put on the web. Thank you.
There's a great value to NOPEC, and if you ever deal with Dominion, if you ever deal with City Water, Cleveland City Water, if you ever deal with any of the other bureaucracies, you'll realize how good it is that we are lucky enough to belong to this aggregate. So, good. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did somebody say no?
What's time?
Thank you for coming. Thank you.